Rico, it is not fake news. I have a lot of Lego, and I have the pictures to prove
I haven't
it.
seen
So
it.
one of these days, we'll
She
get
got
them up here.
receipts, Rico. She got receipts for you.
Proof.
Can't wait.
Facts. So my story this week is a little less news, a little more perspective about why the market and the world, frankly, needs low potency weed. So again, this is a perspective, more of an op-ed, so it'll be in the first person. So here we go. Last week, I read a statistic that all but surprised me. According to consumer insights analysts at the Brightfield Group, 1 in 10 cannabis users prefers flower containing between 6 and 10% THC content, a far cry from the bud with 30 to 40% allegedly THC that is seemingly everywhere in the market. But how often do you find low potency weed at the local dispensary? Pretty much never. And the cannabis industry is driven by supply and demand, and with the majority of customers and frankly the majority of bud tenders seemingly pushing the strong stuff, it makes sense that high potency products get the lion's share of shelf space. But in doing so, a portion of the population is completely alienated from the regulated market. And canna-curious folks may be wary of the big THC numbers, could never try it at all. And shockingly, after years of the opposite, I've become one of the very people seeking low THC products, but more about that later. A while back, I interviewed a few retail buyers in California before the Mega Brand Showcase Hall of Flowers. When I asked what they were on the lookout for, CBD was definitely on the list. They understood the need for low-potency flower, edibles, and vapes at dispensaries. However, producers trying to make ends meet have to go where the money is, leading them to pump out as much THC as possible. It was a sentiment echoed at a recent visit to Emerald Bay Extracts. The brand makes strain-specific RSO and tablets popular with the medical crowd, including one-to-one varieties like Harlequin and Dancehall. But the owner lamented that there was simply not enough CBD-rich flower on the market to meet production demand, directly impacting the customers who have come to rely on the products for relief. The appeal of low-potency weed is something I've seen and experienced firsthand. My partner cultivates high CBD strains of cannabis, selling smokable flower at the local farmers market. After handing out countless samples to curious passersby, the number of folks who return to make a purchase is astonishing. Many of them are older consumers, delighted that there's a product for them. Now, to be fair, these sales occur in Wisconsin where there is no regulated cannabis market. However, THCA flower, aka weed that is considered federally legal hemp, is readily available, and there's no doubt that people are procuring legal bud in other states and bringing it back to the dairyland. My partner's loyal customers are choosing to smoke CBD because it gives them the experience they seek. A relaxing and mellow buzz without the overt stoniness or anxiety that high THC products can cause. But it's not just senior citizens who are enjoying the benefits of low-potency weed. I've started consuming it myself. After a lifelong battle with anxiety began to intensify last year, it became clear that, while I didn't want to believe it, THC may not be helping. So the years of smoking and dabbing all day, every day were seemingly lost. Several instances where a couple of hits of weed sent me into a debilitating spiral made me realize it may be time for a break. So I decided to try some of my partner's sour jet fuel, a lemon and gas-forward strain high in CBD. And for those that argue that CBD doesn't get you high, I beg to differ. It could have been the entourage effect with terpenes and other compounds working in concert, but I definitely felt something. And what I didn't feel was panic, and frankly, I was grateful. Since then, I've become fond of CBN, a minor cannabinoid often marketed for sleep. It started with Space Gem's 1-to-1 THC CBN gummies. The CBN content seemed to take the edge off, helping to prevent paranoia from edibles. And then I discovered True CBN soft gels, which contain 50 milligrams of CBN isolate. And I'd strictly previously been a whole plant consumer, but these capsules, frankly, have changed my life, and I've never slept better. In conclusion, THC is not for everyone, right? We know that. That much is clear. But by ignoring the need for low-potency weed on the legal market, we're doing a disservice to those who could truly benefit. Whether consumed for therapeutic reasons or a cool and mild high, the demand for CBD and other non-THC cannabinoids clearly exists. We're supposed to be an industry for the people, but by catering to the customers who only care about THC, all we're doing is driving the patients and kind of curious further away. I understand this is a complicated issue, made more difficult by the fact that operators are desperate for dollars and simply want to survive. But by inviting a wider population of consumers in, won't we ultimately fare better as an industry? So, Rochelle Gordon, editor of Green State for High at 9 News. I'm curious what you guys think about this. Is it feasible to offer high CBD strains of cannabis in regulated dispensaries?
I mean, you can definitely offer them, but not many people are going to buy them.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that people who are searching for it just don't go to the dispensary? Do you think that the bud tenders aren't pushing it? Like, why do you think that is?
I just feel like most of the people that generally go into stores are looking for high THC. That's 99.9% of all customers. That's what they're asking. And you get very rarely do you get people that are asking for CBD specific. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but let's just say, maybe 5% of customers ask for that. Maybe 5 out of every 100 people basically will ask for a CBD based type of product, more medicinal type of product, whether that be a tincture or something non-cannabis form. Also, too, that's another problem with those types of products as flowers, is that a majority of the people that are purchasing those products don't want to smoke also.
It's not just that, too. A lot of those products you can get from regular smoke shops that aren't dispensaries. So if you're going to a dispensary, I believe 99% of the people going there are going there for actual flower. They're not going there for Delta 8. They're not going there for anything else. They're literally just going there because they want the real thing. Because they can go to a regular smoke shop and just get Delta 8 strands or, whatever else. It's really not, you know what I mean? So it's kind of my take on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like if I'm going to the dispensary, you already know you're going to be buying stuff at a premium.
Yep.
So I kind of go, if I'm going into a dispensary, I try to get the best that I can get, period. But I ain't gonna lie, a good 1-to-1 is great. Some of my buddies that have
but you like
that
Blue
blessed
Dream.
me with
with
a lot of product direct off the farm. It's really good, man. Some good 1-to-1 stuff. It gives you a good functional high. You're not looking to get super lit. If I ever gonna buy something in the store, like, I just wouldn't buy CBD at a actual dispensary.
I mean, you bought Blue Dream.
I never bought it.
Knowledge,
never bought it.
Knowledge of people of this.
I love how Jason loves to keep on shaming me because that's my ADHD medicine. It gives me a functional high.
Hey, you gotta have something. You gotta have something.
Go ahead.
We gotta have something.
And for the record, I've never dropped cash. I've never dropped cash on it. I have an infinite supply.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I've sold you some Blue Dream before.
The lack of knowledge in this industry. The lack of knowledge.
I don't think I've ever seen you in possession of Blue Dream, Jason. Just give it.
The ignorance on all sides in this industry is overwhelming. I mean, Molly and I had, 12 to 15,000 patients at one point. We got to look under everybody's fingernails and what they were doing, and there was no dispensaries in those days. So we got to see, if you want this product, what can you get? How can you do it? And a lot of people settled, and we helped them as best we could. Titrate a dose that was good for them, help them find strains. I mean, that's why I went to prison. I grew some plants for some people who were very sick, and we were trying to get them specific medicine. But even today, if you're in my age group, what we smoked 50 years ago was 3 to 5% THC when you broke it off the brick, and hash was maybe 12%. Okay, that's what my generation grew up on. So when I got out of prison after 12 and a half years of not being able to use weed, I took a dab, and I thought I was down Alice's rabbit hole. Fuck. Okay, it was way too much for me. And it's happened several times where the THC content was more than my brain could take, and it's like, I don't need this. But there's an entire market out there of people, and this is not necessarily a medical need, not just a recreational need, somewhere in between, that you have conditions, and in my family, my daughter, THC makes her sick. So we had to look around and find products that were low in THC, higher in CBD and the CBN and things like that to help her. But we're a medical family, so they're not marketing to people out there. They're not trying to educate people. Right now, to survive in the industry, you got to sell what sells, and that's high THC, and that's where you end up. The potential in this, and even for your own home remedies, is very high. Because it's hard to sustain spending $300 or $400 a week trying to buy this shit to treat anxiety because you don't want to take Ativan anymore. Mm-hmm. That's just not sustainable. But you've got to have strains that you grow them yourself, and they actually have what you need, low in THC, higher in maybe CBD, CBN, things like that. Hell, try to find THCV that is like a coffee in the morning. There's a lot of ways to use this that just people are ignorant of. And bud tenders don't know about.
I feel like, right, Rochelle, first off, I want to thank you for writing this because it is a topic I think that is under discussed, and I'm actually surprised. Like a lot of these newer markets that have popped up, we're not seeing a lot of these like low potency sales. They're just following the same path that we have gone into.
Because it's what the consumer asked for, and it's what the consumer asked for.
Yeah.
But I think it's a tough call, though, and I think I agree with all of you in that it's what people are asking for, but are people not going to a dispensary who maybe don't need a THC product or don't know that they need a CBD product because maybe they're overwhelmed and they're not educated on what's available? Or is it like Tony said, and they know they can get it elsewhere, so they just don't go to the dispensary, period?
I think it's a combination of actually both of those, Rochelle, because you have some people that are going to go and buy some Delta 8 product somewhere, and then you have a lot of other people that are just going to their doctor's office. Now, if we were able to advertise cannabis products like this in doctor's offices, I think that there would be a lot more higher demand because people would be a lot more aware that they actually exist and that they could actually make their life much more beneficial than what they're currently using to supplement that adversement. So
doctors are ignorant of this, Jason.
Well, no, the cannabis. Hold on a second, bro. A dispensary is not going to pay a doctor a commission for a referral fee to come and purchase someone else's product. That's just not real. Okay, but you do have the insurance companies paying doctors to pump all these pills down people, and so they're at an economical disadvantage already from the beginning.
So who's going to step up and become the Sackler family of cannabis? Jason?
Doctors don't know about this. I mean, I was married to one for a long time. And I married her when she was just coming out of medical school, and none of this was taught. And it's still not taught today. You don't get to learn the endocannabinoid system like you learn the endo-opioid system. It's just not there. So you send it to them and they go, oh, fuck, I don't know. Right. What do I tell you? Okay, that's not helpful. So you're in the streets, and I've talked to some bud tenders that, know their shit. Others are dumb as fucking rocks. And they're there to get you to buy what makes the most money or, what you're asking for, and it's driven by high THC. It's just not coming down to what people need. And old farts like me have money to spend. Mm-hmm. We're not chasing 30% THC. We want something that'll help us sleep, and we got some money to spend for it. But you can't survive in a dispensary selling to old farts like me because they're not coming in the numbers you need.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Not supportable.
You guys are another 5% of the population.
Yeah.